everyone, so I am finally back with another convention horror story, and unlike my last video where it was just one really bad event, this story is more of a series of bad events that led to it just not being a really good time for me. To start, this took place a very long time ago at my second anime convention ever. My second convention was also a bigger deal than my first because it was the first time I was ever wearing a cosplay I had completely made by myself. With all that said, let's jump into it. So the first bad thing that happened was actually directly involved with the cosplay, and it happened before we even got to the convention, so I should have taken that as a sign that things were just not gonna go my way. So the character I was cosplaying was Zakuro from Tokyo Mew Mew in their maid outfits. Now this is one of the very few female characters I've done in all the years I've been cosplaying, and I think maybe this story is part of the reason why I don't do that many female characters. So after struggling to sew this entire thing together and make a headband and paint some boots, all I had to do was find a wig. Now this was back in the day of cosplay where all we had was cosplay.com, which was a website of forums that had some tutorials, but basically you were just fending for yourself. There was no Arta wigs, there was no epic cosplay wigs. You had eBay and Chinese sellers, which you just can't always trust. So I scoured eBay for hours and finally found a very long, dark purple, beautiful wig and ordered it. The problem was, because it was coming from overseas, it was gonna be cutting it pretty close. Now the wig did arrive the day before we were supposed to leave for the convention, and I was considering myself pretty lucky. Until I opened up the package and took a look at the wig. Instead of this long, dark purple, beautiful wig that I had purchased that the pictures and listing showed, I got this neon purple, shiny, Party City looking thing with bangs that looked like they had been chewed up by somebody's dog. Not knowing how to cut or style wigs at all, and looking back on photos of it, even if I had known, there would have been no way to fix this wig. I just had to wear it as it was. So if anybody knows, no matter how amazing your costume can look, if that one detail like the wigs or the shoes or whatever isn't right, it can definitely make you feel like the entire look of your costume has been brought down. And that's about how I felt. I felt like I did not look good whatsoever, and it only got worse from there. So here I was in a costume that I thought looked terrible, with a wig that I thought looked terrible, and I was hanging out with a friend I had met at a previous convention who was above and beyond amazing with her cosplays. So needless to say, standing next to her in her amazing cosplay, I felt even worse about mine. But then, some of her friends, who were also dressed in Tokyo Mew Mew cosplays, approached her to discuss a group that they were putting together. They were gonna do this big Tokyo Mew Mew cosplay, they were gonna have every character, it was this big, crazy, fantastic plan, and it all sounded great, but they weren't talking to me at all. Not only did they not acknowledge me, they proceeded to talk to my friend about the girl who was absolutely amazing as Zakuro that was gonna be in their group right in front of me, and it just really made me feel more awful than I already did. So pro tip, don't talk about another cosplayer who you just think is absolutely amazing as X character in front of someone else who is dressed as X character, because it's just really not cool. To this day, that conversation still bugs me. But I still had some spirits and was holding my head high. My friend and I were enjoying the convention as best we could. We were shopping, we were taking pictures, and everything seemed to be going better after that. Until this last part happened. As we were heading outside, I heard somebody scream, and it's one of those high-pitched, excited kind of squeals that you hear at conventions, but I didn't actually know what was going on. Before I had the chance to actually figure out what was going on, I was tackled. When I say I was tackled, I mean essentially that I was glomped. People don't really do that much anymore because luckily the habit has died out because it was wildly inappropriate. But basically, if you saw someone dressed as a character you liked or you liked their costume, as a stranger you would run and jump on them. I think it goes without saying that this made for a very bad time for the person in the costume. So my bad day got even worse because this girl jumps me and pretty much knocks me to the ground. As I was saying before, I was heading outside, so I hit half carpet and half concrete. When she finally ran off and I was able to get to my feet, I saw that the costume I already felt bad about was dirty, was torn up, I was cut up, and I was just so done with being in this convention and being in this cosplay. Luckily, this event didn't deter me from cosplaying, as you can see, and I continued to push forward making costumes and working even harder on just the small details so I could feel more confident in my own outfits. But yeah, it just overall was not a good time. I don't know if overall this can be classified as a horror story, but it definitely was one to me. And like I said, this was my second convention, and the events that happened are still so vivid to me all these years later. So let me know down in the comments some of the things that have happened to you at conventions that just really ruined your good time. Whether it be cosplay malfunctions, cosplay issues, or just other attendees totally letting you down. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.